have the honor of introducing a very special person. Stephanie Ronan has been a true beacon of inspiration to me and so many others. Almost 5 years ago, a horrifying car crash would have taken all away from us, but she fought back with an incredible determination to be there for her kids and loved ones. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie Ronan.
I wanted to start out by reading a Caring Bridge journal that my sister had written, dated October 17th, 2018. I have not posted in several days because I have honestly been struggling to understand the purpose behind the pain and suffering Steph is going through. I really have to dig deep and try and find the comfort in the daily devotionals I read. Life is not fair. Bad things happen to good people, and often offenders go unpunished for their wrongdoings. I am holding on to the belief that God finds refuge for us when we are weak and discouraged. Hi, my name is Stephanie Ronan. I'm a survivor of a head-on impaired driving crash. September 29th, 2018 started out like any other day, but ended with twisted metal and pain. While I lay unconscious in the ICU, fighting for my life, back at home, a highway patrolman was telling my son Noah that I had been involved in a serious accident and he should go to the hospital right away. We had just celebrated his 19th birthday the week before, and this was the first of many adult experiences he had to endure. He had to wake up his 12-year-old sister and drive them both to the hospital. I later found out that the Centennial and Rockridge volunteer fire departments responded to my crash. I am forever grateful for them. I had visited a friend and was on my way home. I had only made it 3 miles down the road when the crash occurred. The jaws of life were used to cut me out of my SUV, and I was then life-flighted to Greenville. I was unconscious. My parents and my sister drove from Wilmington to meet my son, along with a few close friends outside the ICU. They were all in shock. Behind the scenes, the hospital had assembled a team of doctors to stabilize me and prioritize my numerous surgeries. They told my family that I had a long road ahead of me. The laundry list of injuries were passed down to my parents. Broken tibia, fibia, foot and ankle, ribs, collapsed lung, lacerated liver, fractured sternum, injury to my hand and one of my eyes was crossed, and I had head trauma that caused a traumatic brain injury. The rate of speed of the crash also caused an internal decapitation. This is a rare injury with only a 25% survival rate. I spent a total of 19 days in the ICU, 11 days in the step-down unit, and 23 days in the rehab floor. This is where I learned to transfer in and out of my power wheelchair using a slide board onto the hospital bed and from different locations for therapy. I remember my physical therapy and his assistant helping me get into my parents' car as we headed back to my house. The 45-minute drive back home terrified me. 5 years later, I still suffer from chronic pain, impaired vision, damage and neuropathy to my foot and shoulder, and limited range of motion in my shoulder and neck. I also suffer from PTSD, which makes a simple trip to the grocery store terrifying at times. This is all because of one man's selfish decision to drive while impaired. With the support of MAD, I faced the drunk driver in court and read my victim impact statement to the judge. The driver was only sentenced to 16 months, and the judge revoked his license for life. The impaired driver that crashed into me had already gotten arrested for an alleged DWI a few weeks before my crash, and he was let out on a $50 bond. I slept in a hospital bed in my living room and had a nurse's aide named Barbara. She came 7 days a week for 2 to 3 hours a day to help me with bedside bathing until we could get in the shower using a shower bench, and she would help me dress as well. Having been involved in a car crash herself, she knew the pain of PTSD firsthand. I have spent the past 5 years in physical, occupational, and vision therapy, as well as counseling that specializes in trauma. My counselor used to be a paramedic, so she knew exactly what I was going through. Impaired driving is a 100% preventable crime, and it impacts not only the victims, but their family as well. Follow my journey on social media, TikTok, Therapy with Stephanie 1, or Instagram, therapywith.stephanie. Thank you.